And we back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah. But we been covered a story on this. King AK-47 was the first person that broke this story to us about Pooh Shiesty and his shiesty ass gang members bagging up the OG Gucci man in the studio one night. And just the update to it. They finally getting around to it. It's been like a month, maybe two. So
Pops in the eights, Katie and the Gummers. Yeah, shit going on.
And I'm locked in with TP, we finna make a hit.
To tell what happened and he left stuff out. I'm not gonna do that. There is a
this right here is King AK-47. He a blog I follow, and he be getting his mind. He be having some shit to say when he do get to talking. He is the first person that brought it to the internet. Will Seti Nash is the first person that brought it to the internet. We might check out some Seti Nash content too, but Seti Nash the first person that brought it to the internet. I don't know. It's a tie between both of them, but yeah, that's King AK-47 right there.
Video of this thing. A lot of people know already what happened. That live stream with Ben the Don, that was about Pooh Shiesty.
Took everything to clean them up.
Are you serious?
So in reality, let me say this. In reality, if you be outside, you be in the streets, we already knew there had to be some truth behind this because nobody came out and denied it. If that's my homie, we work together, co-worker, anything like that. Even if I not cool with him and somebody saying that I robbed him or something like that, I'm gonna step in and clear it up. Hey, don't put me in that. I don't got nothing to do with that. That ain't happened. That's family. That's gang. You know what I'm saying? This didn't come from either side. And if Gucci Man, the Gucci Man that we know, like I said in the previous reaction video, if he would have got robbed by somebody, the first thing Gucci Man would have did was he would have got on here and told us about Pookie Loke and he not going like that. This what happens when you try to rob him. So I always felt as though it was some truth to the situation. But for them to say they got actual video, it's crazy.
The nigga retarded, bro. It has to hit the street shit. Remember, I always get the shit first.
Yeah, I gotta talk to you at the stream, bro. I'll call you in a little bit, bro. No, bro, this shit never fucking ends. That shit damn near made me on the end stream, gang.
Gucci Mane got robbed, bro. And I've allowed a lot of people to come in. Y'all know me and Seti really ain't been see whatever. I did not get this from him as well. Damn, Gucci. I didn't want to believe it. I didn't think Pooh Shiesty was dumb enough. But y'all, Pooh Shiesty is dumb enough.
In Cordova.
Oh, let me go back a little bit. I was grabbing the fresh made.
Damn, Gucci.
Fresh maids.
Y'all know me and Seti really ain't been see whatever. I did not get this from him as well. Damn, Gucci. I didn't want to believe it. I didn't think Pooh Shiesty was dumb enough. But y'all, Pooh Shiesty is dumb enough.
In Cordova. At the scene in Cordova. Our crews have seen FBI and TBI agents going in and out of that house. The Shelby County Assessor's website lists this house as being owned by Lontrell Williams. That is the name of both Pooh Shiesty and his father. The rap star.
So listen, it wasn't hard to believe to me because of this. These young dudes are slamming each other out, shooting each other up, $1,500. Fake watches worth $2,000-$3,000. You don't think one of them would have slammed Gucci out for proposed $15 million contract by CMG from CMG Yo Gotti? Hell yeah.
is in a halfway house right now after being released from federal.
It's a lot going on, fam. Been working on so many stories behind the scenes, but then I gotta prioritize as some come up. Fam, what if I told you the story we just covered less than 24 hours ago has already been confirmed by the federal government? Because earlier today, federal authorities held a press conference and released a federal complaint connected to a robbery and kidnapping case involving multiple individuals tied to Memphis and a rap scene. Names that have been circulating online, including
that fat dude that's in right there in the corner. That's Big 30.
Conference and released a federal complaint connected to a robbery and kidnapping case involving multiple individuals tied to Memphis.
Who want to know who Big 30 is? Big dude on the phone right there with his feet on the table. That's Big 30.
And a rap scene. Names that have been circulating online, including Pooh, Shiesty, Big 30, and even rumors surrounding Gucci Mane. According to investigators, 8 individuals alleged traveled from Memphis to Texas to carry out what authorities say was a planned robbery and kidnapping. But here's where the story gets even more interesting. Because while a lot of people online are claiming someone must be telling, federal authorities have not even publicly named the victim believed to be involved.
So this is the thing. It's not that someone has to be telling, more so as it is that the people who were robbed. The bodyguard that was accompanying Gucci Mane is an off-duty police officer. It's literally his job. You understand? Y'all robbed him, y'all robbed Gucci, y'all robbed the cameraman. Then y'all held them against their will, which is a form of kidnapping. Kidnapping could be holding somebody against their will. Kidnapping could be physically moving somebody more than 11 feet against their will. Why 11 feet, I don't know. But yeah, those are all forms of kidnapping. So did Gucci actually directly have to go to the police and snitch himself? Maybe not, because like I said, the bodyguard was already an off-duty police officer. So is Gucci hot? That's for people to determine, not for me. But as far as this guy, even if you held a gun to Gucci Mane's head and made Gucci Mane sign the contract releasing you from the contract,
even though many believe they know exactly,
legally that's not going to hold up in court. He signed that under duress. He signed that under threat of life or death. That is not going to hold up in court. You're still legally bound to 1017 records and whatever contract you have with Gucci Mane.
Who it is. Instead, investigators say a lot of the evidence may be coming from the suspect themselves, including actions within hours and days after the alleged robbery happened. So the real question becomes, who's really telling? Or did the suspects allegedly leave behind more evidence than they realized? So in this video, we're going to go over this criminal complaint in its entirety. And I won't talk too much after, because I want you guys to hear from the U.S. District Attorney himself and some of the questions he was asked and some of his answers. So before we go over this one and wrap up this update until more come out, I want you guys to remember, I don't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're going to jump right to it. Fam, if you want to check out the update on how we got to this point and a full breakdown on Pooh, Shiesty and his dad, check the first video out.
Check that out
in the bio. But 2 Memphis rappers and 7 others have been arrested following an FBI investigation into an alleged robbery and kidnapping involving other rappers. The North Texas U.S. Attorney's Office held a press conference in Dallas on Thursday morning, announcing the arrest of 9 people, including Memphis rapper Lontrell Williams Jr., also known as Pooh Shiesty. The FBI in Memphis also confirmed that Shiesty's father, Lontrell Williams Sr., was also arrested following a raid Wednesday in which we covered at the family's home in Cordova. The Department of Justice says Shiesty, along with his right-hand man, Rodney Wright Jr., also known as Big 30, and 7 others, are accused of robbing and kidnapping multiple victims at a Music Dallas studio, all including Atlanta rapper Radrick Davis, known as Gucci Mane, his CEO. Arrests were made in Memphis, Nashville, and Dallas. The other arrests
holding your CEO hostage under gunpoint of 2 assault rifles, Dracos, and robbing him and forcing him to sign a contract got to be top tier elite dummy crash out of all time.
included Kendarius Waters, Terrence Rogers, Demarion Gibson, DeMarcus Glover, Corday Johnson, and Darian McDaniel. According to the DOJ, on January 10, 2026, just weeks after his release of FDO, Pooh, Shiesty, and 3 other music professionals traveled from Memphis to Dallas for a meeting with the 2 music professionals to discuss a contract with one of the victims. Investigators allege that while the men were inside the studio, Shiesty and 8 co-conspirators held them at gunpoint. The DOJ say Shiesty forced one of the victims to sign a release form from the music label while being threatened with the firearm. Authorities allege other suspects stole cash and high-value items, including a Rolex watch and jewelry. Screenshot of a video from Terrence Rogers' social media account depicted a Rolex believed to be stolen in the robbery. The DOJ.
And then in classic YN shit, this man just did what, 4, 5 years in prison to come home, do this, and then had the people that's with him hop on the internet and start showcasing evidence from the freaking already recorded on camera robbery. I mean,
Jay also says one of the victims was choked to the point of near unconsciousness. Big 30 is accused of barricading the door to prevent the victims from leaving. Shiesty's father is accused of helping plan and carry out the incident. The DOJ says suspects later posted photos on social media with items believed to have been stolen during a robbery. This is screenshots of DeMarcus Glover's social.
Come on down, big DeMarcus Glover, man. You got to be what Charlamagne be calling them niggas? Donkey of the day. Y'all just robbed this man and y'all go right on the internet like he a teenager or he one of y'all age, you know what I'm saying? He a YN and get the flash in this little 1017 chains and watches and stuff. What did you really think was gonna happen?
Social media account depicting him wearing purportedly stolen jewelry. Pooh, Shiesty was released from federal prison 6 months ago after pleading guilty to a firearm and drug charges. If convicted, the DOJ says each individual could face conference. Now that you guys are caught up on this indictment or this criminal complaint, check out the news conference.
This week, 9 individuals, including well-known musical artists, kidnapped and robbed at gunpoint numerous victims at a music studio in Dallas, Texas. 8 of the 9 were arrested yesterday in Dallas, Memphis, and Nashville. These individuals who are charged and arrested include Lontrell Williams Jr., also known as Pooh Shiesty, Lontrell Williams Sr., Rodney Wright Jr., also known as Big 30.
Somebody got to be checking Gucci Mane's socials right now. It's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever he on, X, whatever they call it. We need to see what Gucci Mane is thinking right now. He just sitting back watching this shit like, dang. Like, damn, Slim, snaked out by your own. I mean, ain't no telling how snaky that contract was Gucci had him signed to, though.
Kadarius Waters, Demarion Gibson, DeMarcus Glover, Corday Johnson, Darian McDaniel, and Terrence Rogers has not been arrested yet.
Somebody got to be talking for them to have all them real government names like that because, I mean, you might know a couple dudes' nicknames that hang with somebody that you cool with. Like, if you my homie and you bringing your friends around, I might know their street name, but I don't know they whole government like that. Maybe that's why it took so long. Like I said, this did happen about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. And maybe that's why it took so long for them to move the way they moved. They wanted to make sure they got every photo, picture, video, everything they could. Every
but will be soon. The complaint alleges that on January 10th of this year, 3 music industry professionals traveled to Dallas for a scheduled business meeting. Lontrell Williams Jr. arranged this meeting purportedly to discuss the terms of his recording contract with one of the victims. As alleged, once these 3 men were inside the recording studio, Williams Jr. and 8 co-conspirators, several of whom traveled from Memphis, Tennessee, executed a coordinated armed takeover. As alleged, Williams Jr. produced an AK-style pistol and forced one of the victims to sign a release.
Mo, they did a forced arm takeover. Let that man get in the studio, sit his book bag down, think it was sweet, and then they whipped out the Dracos and took that shit over. Big orange juice. We ain't sipping no liquor. I mean, apple juice.
From the recording contract at gunpoint. The remaining conspirators displayed firearms and robbed the other victims of Rolex watches, jewelry, cash, and other high-value items. One of the victims was actually choked by one of the defendants to the point of near unconsciousness. Defendant Wright barricaded the studio door with his body to prevent the victims from escaping. The ringleader of
So when they get to going down, how they doing them? Big 30 hop in front of the door with the Draco like ain't nobody leaving. You know what I'm saying? And it's just crazy to be done like this by people you paying, bro. Was Big 30 ever even signed to 1017? I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure Big 30 was signed to 1017. But I know Big Scar, who is cousin of Pooh Shiesty, him and Pooh Shiesty was signed to 1017 for sure. They tried to say a lot of this was because people didn't like how Gucci Man asked for the chains back after Big Scar passed away, or that he didn't pay for Big Scar's entire funeral. And I don't know, man. I think if you're a snake, you're just a snake. It's something that was probably going to happen regardless.
The conspiracy, Lontrell Williams Jr. was on home confinement at the time of the offense, as alleged, for a prior firearms conspiracy charge and conviction out of the Southern District of Florida. Towards the end of his prison sentence, he had been granted home detention. Part of the terms of his home detention were that he would not commit another federal offense or possess a firearm. His father, Lontrell Williams Sr., is alleged to have helped plan and execute the federal kidnapping as charged in the complaint. And as described further in the complaint, within hours of leaving the Dallas studio, a number of the defendants were on social media displaying some of the items that appeared to be the jewelry that had been robbed from the victims.
So y'all don't even take time to go like hide the evidence. Y'all instantly just hop on the internet and showcase the evidence that y'all took from the person. Yeah, this us right here. I just took this chain from the guy. This my Instagram. This my Facebook. This my X account. Y'all look me up. I'm about that. Like y'all instantly just went to that. Like no lay low, hide out for a couple days. None of that.
The charging document outlines some of the evidence, just some, establishing the defendant's roles in the federal offense. This is as follows: electronic monitoring data placing Williams Jr. at the offense location, which would put him in violation of his home detention conditions. Cell phone records and license plate reader data corroborating the coordinated travel of multiple defendants from Memphis, Tennessee.
So what he's saying is, from the time these guys got in the car in Memphis, Tennessee, tag readers and cameras, whether it be street light cameras, stop sign cameras, store cameras, have tracked them all the way from Tennessee, Memphis, all the way to the scene of the crime. That's crazy.
To Dallas, rental car records confirming Williams Sr. rented a vehicle that was used by the group, surveillance footage from the offense location, a nearby office supply store, and a hotel where several of the defendants stayed following the offense. Fingerprint evidence as well that was recovered from the crime scene, matching at least two of the defendants. Social media posts by defendants displaying what appears to be.
So it sounded to me like this really wasn't planned out. It sounded to me like this was some quick, fast, in a hurry, pull together type stuff. Like, all right, we get ready to bully this situation. And maybe they thought about like, all right, Gucci Man supposed to be a gangster. He'll keep it in the streets. He not gonna tell, so it's gonna be what it's gonna be. But on the same hand, I don't think they took it to effect or to account. I don't even think they thought about it, because as much evidence as they left behind, y'all didn't take the time to wipe down none of your fingerprints off or nothing while you in there. That's why I say they were just moving fast. They didn't have on gloves, none of that type of stuff. Y'all just left all this evidence.
Stolen property just in the days following the offense. Greyhound bus records confirming the travel of multiple defendants from Dallas to Memphis. The day.
I don't know how I feel about that. We drove down here in cars to bust a move for you. Now we gotta go back on Greyhound. It's probably safer to go on Greyhound because they probably looking for y'all in personal private cars on the road. You know what I'm saying? At least that's probably what's going through your head. You thinking they looking for y'all in the private cars on the road. So Greyhound is cool, I guess.
After the offense.
But they got the time you left Memphis, the cars you rode in. They got cell phone triangulation and tracking and GPS tracker from the ankle monitors to the spot that you was when the crime happened, where the offense took place at. They got video evidence and fingerprint DNA evidence, and they even got your Greyhound ticket as you make your exit back to Memphis. So did Gucci really have to snitch, man?
This case came to Dallas to conduct legitimate business, and they were met with firearms and violence as alleged in the charging document. This case should serve as a warning to others who believe that using violence and intimidation tactics to rob others in our community is a viable way to conduct business. I'm here to say that it is not, and that if you choose to do this, we will, together with our law enforcement partners here and the other ones in the Northern District of Texas, will bring you swiftly to justice. I want to thank the FBI.
I don't know how swift y'all moving because it did been a little minute. People probably thought that situation was fake because y'all actually took so long to put together y'all little move to lock them up. And I mean, you know, y'all serving justice now, I guess, if that's what this want to be called, you feel me? I still would like to hear what Gucci Mane got to say about this now, because Gucci Mane did get on the internet and perpetrate like he didn't get robbed. He posted a couple of old videos that people might didn't see before, still with the jury on. But then they say something like they turned the jury in for $10,000 at the pawn shop. Why would somebody sell $1 million jury for $10,000? Because like I said, that stuff is probably a high quality fake. That big goofy looking wedding ring that Gucci Mane be walking around with, it don't even shine like a real dime.
FBI Dallas Violent Crimes Task Force, the FBI's Memphis Resident Agency and Nashville Field Office, the Memphis Safe Task Force, the Dallas Police Department, the United States Attorney for the Western District of Tennessee, Michael Dunovit, and AUSA Greg Wagner, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Texas, my dear friend and colleague Jay Combs, and the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Middle District of Tennessee, including my...
They had a lot of people working together on this, because since when do the feds get involved in a robbery? You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm missing something. People get robbed all day in the hood. The FBI don't get involved and kick doors over robberies. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's because of the amount of money they took. The valuables they took probably equaled a certain amount monetary wise that made the feds get involved. Maybe it's because of celebrities. But I don't know. I never really seen the feds get involved in a robbery, like regular street robberies. I don't know.
Colleague Braden Busek for their outstanding contributions in this multi-jurisdictional investigation and prosecution. I'd also like to highlight the extraordinary work. None of this happens without the extraordinary work of our AUSAs in this office. And I'm here to say we have the best AUSAs in the entire country. That includes AUSAs Robert Withers, Claire Demers, and my violent crime chief, Jeremy Fugate. This case really underscores the importance of standing up for crime victims, no matter who they are or where they come from. Now,
see, saying stuff like that will make you feel like Gucci Mane had to say something, because when they say standing up for crime victims, no matter who they are, where they come from, it kind of implies like, yeah, even though the guy who's a victim is, you know, a guy who's killed somebody before, or, you know, he's a street guy, we still got to stand up for him when he becomes a victim, just the same as anybody else. That's how I read into it.
incredible collaborative investigative partnerships that we have, not only in the Northern District of Texas, but across the country. And we are all working together to make our country safer. So thank you for being here today. And I'll answer some questions after my colleague here speaks. But now I'm going to turn it over to him. And this is Jeremy Wright, who's the Dallas FBI Assistant Special Agent in charge.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan. Good morning, everybody. As Ryan said, my name is Jeremy Wright, Assistant Special Agent in charge for FBI Dallas. As United States Attorney Raybold said, we're here today to announce the arrest of several individuals in the Memphis and Nashville, Tennessee areas, as long as one here in Frisco, Texas. These arrests are the result of a violent kidnapping of 3 individuals here in the Dallas area. The majority of those arrested did travel from Memphis to Dallas.
The violent kidnapping. Gucci Mane. Come on down, big Gucci Mane. Gucci Mane. Sat across from Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God, DJ Envy, and told them people, man, y'all scared to talk to me now. Y'all shook. Look at y'all. Not big Goo-Wop. You done got put on the victim list by little bony ass Pooh Shiesty. Nah, I know them Dracos ain't bony, so you know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna act like them Dracos bony. You know, 7.62s ain't bony. But dang, not Gucci Mane and got violently robbed and kidnapped. And this job like the story of your career. Because the Jeezy situation was like a setup situation, but when they came in, they had duct tape and stuff. They was planning on kidnapping, robbing. Like, damn, Gucci, big Gucci man, the boogeyman keep getting kidnapped and robbed and shit fuck going on.
To commit that offense. Our office collaborated with multiple law enforcement agencies and other FBI offices to carry out this investigation that ultimately led to these arrests. So I'd like to thank the Dallas Violent Crimes Task Force, Dallas Police Department, the Memphis Safe Task Force, Memphis, Tennessee Police Department, and the Shelby County, Tennessee.
Now, you see how the Memphis Safe Task Force, that's probably like a gang task force in Memphis that went down there and linked up with them and helped them put together the faces and names of the people involved in this. The same way we saw Chicago police go down and link up with Atlanta police to try to bring down Lil Durk, King Von, and Bezoo, telling them that these guys were gang members, they were top members in the gangs they were in, blah, blah, blah. You see how they working together. You got to pay attention to that.
The Sheriff's Department for helping with this investigation. Violent crime does remain a top priority for the FBI, and we dedicated significant resources from here in Dallas FBI, Nashville, Little Rock, Birmingham, and Atlanta FBI offices to investigate and successfully arrest these individuals.
What made that? If this would have been Dallas police local to the area, because Dallas big, you know what I'm saying? If this would have been the local police jurisdiction of that area working the case, how did the FBI get involved in a simple robbery case? I mean, it's not robbery because it's violent kidnapping, but how did that? Well, I guess a being kidnapped will bring in the FBI. I'm confused. Though.
We remain committed to investigating violent crimes like these. No matter who you are, we will fight every day alongside our partners to make our communities safer. So, thank you.
For sure.
And we have time for some questions. If you would just identify who you were with and your name would be helpful. Yes, sir.
Kevin Reese with WFAA.
Hi, Kevin.
It may be in the release that you're going to send us, but can you be more specific to who these victims are and a specific location of this studio that you were talking about?
I'll answer the last part first. Yes, it'll be in the complaint, and we're happy to get you a copy of that. It's now unsealed. It was off Dallas Parkway in Dallas, Texas, a music studio. That's what.
So why y'all don't want to say who the victims are? Because if the victims are the one testifying and giving up all the information, if you tell us who the victims are, you'll be telling us who talking. I 100% think Gucci Mane coming down there just trying to do some legal business, talk about some contracts. I think Gucci Mane had to talk, especially if they did rob him of jewelry that's worth $1 million or better. Because in order for you to get that insurance back, you're going to have to tell the insurance company something like, yo, this is really what happened. Here go the police report. Otherwise, you take an L on the jury as well as everything else.
It's identified in the complaint. As far as victims go, we won't get into at this time who the victims are or not.
Chase with the Dallas Morning News. Can you describe the injuries suffered by the 3 victims?
So one of the victims, and this is actually in the complaint, and we'll get you a copy as well. There's a photograph of the injury. It looks like there's some abrasions on the neck and arm.
Yeah, that dude that got choked out, they say they almost choked him unconscious. They left fingerprints and handprints around that man's neck. Now he a little, you know, fair skin complex, but god dang, choked that boy to sleep.
One of the individuals that's been charged has not had his initial appearance yet, but agents are actively working to locate and bring him to court.
And I wanted to touch on that actually. Eric Bushman with KRLD. Since there's one person you're still trying to get to come in, I guess it's on request since the initial appearance, you have said that you're trying to work out. Because you're going public with this, are you afraid at all that that's going to hinder it eventually getting that individual in?
Agents are working to find him. The complaint has already been unsealed, and a number of these defendants have had.
So where Big 30 slide to? How y'all can't find Big 30, man? It ain't like Big 30 got no millions and millions of dollars to just dip out on y'all, man. How y'all can't find Big 30, man? What's going on, man? Big 30 done hit y'all with the he done did the race on y'all.
Their public hearing already, their initial appearance, and so it's already out there that this individual has been charged, and so that information is in the public record. But I trust that the agents will be able to identify this person and find them and bring them to justice. Of course, that person can turn themselves in immediately.
2 questions. This is Chase with the Dallas Morning News. So the initial incident happens in January 10th. We're here in April. Can you describe the timeline and the length of time? You know, why we're talking about this now, because it sounds like these arrests happened recently. And then the second part of that question, did all of the arrests happen yesterday, or were they happening over the span of time that we're talking about?
Yeah, good questions. I'll start with the last part. 8 of the 9.
Why you keep answering the last part, man? Answer the question these niggas is asking, man.
Happened yesterday, and then we're still working on one more.
Tyrone, what's up, B? You say Gucci snitching, huh? I mean, he got to. If that ring was $1 million by itself, he got to in order to get the insurance back off that ring. Once you call that joint in and tell them, yo, the ring is gone, they're not finna just cash you out just because you say it's gone. You finna have to prove that.
And that was, again, a lot of those happened in Memphis.
But in
one
reality,
happened in Nashville.
I'm gonna say this. In reality, I don't think Gucci had to snitch. His bodyguard is a off-duty police officer. The cameraman was a young white boy. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Gucci had to sit and say nothing to the police. He probably had to get a police report to take to the insurance company for the jury. I do believe that, in order to show that it's not a scam. The jury really was stolen. But do I think Gucci had to snitch? I'm going to say, nah, I don't think he absolutely had to snitch.
And we're working now with our Georgia counterparts to get the last person brought to justice. Do you want to ask another question, follow up to that?
Actually, I forgot the answer. We'll come back again after you.
Okay, and remind me of your first part, sir.
We had the initial incident on January 10th,
Yep.
Here, April 2nd. Can you describe and kind of characterize why, that amount of time passed before they were arrested?
Well,
exactly. January 10th. That's the FBI working behind the scenes to get every single social media video, every single name, full name, government name, address. Why you think they got so much evidence already? They waited 3 months before they went and kicked in that man's door about this.
That was one of the reasons I wanted to list off some of the evidence that has been uncovered to date. A lot of this was subpoena work, search warrant work, and things like that in order to develop the investigation. And so the agents here with me, the agents out in the field, it takes a little bit of time to identify who did this offense and build a case so that we feel comfortable bringing the charges. So actually that's pretty quickly for a federal case. of this gravity and this nature. And so I'm very proud of the investigative work, and it will continue from this office as well as our FBI and our local police department.
If convicted of these charges, these arrests, how serious are these crimes? What do these people face?
They're facing a range, so there's no mandatory minimum in this case. It's a range of punishment, and it'll be in the province of the judge, whoever gets the case. But it could be from 0 all the way to life imprisonment. And as you know, a lot of what will
Shorty just did 5 back in jail facing the L for robbing the CEO. And I'm sure the contract, I don't know, when they be broke, they be signing like retarded contracts just to try to get their foot in the game, get them some money, right? So it's no telling what type of contract what type of foolishness he signed for. But I'm sure he's sitting in that cell now and he thinking, man, I could have just did out the rest of my contract with this nigga and then went my separate ways. You about to be facing a life sentence. Kidnapping, armed robbery, assault. Oh my gosh.
Will guide what's called the sentencing guidelines will be the individual's previous criminal history, the fact that one of these individuals committed the offense while on home confinement. So
that same individual who committed the offense while on home confinement was previously locked up for firing a gun in the club, discharging a gun in the club when his money got taken, while he was already being investigated for robbing a guy who came to sell them shoes and marijuana. Man, he's facing the L. He's facing the L, man.
Actually serving a federal offense, assuming that individual is convicted, that will be an aggravating factor for sure.
Ooh. I was curious. I know you're being quiet so far on the victims here, but could you at least tell us, outside of them being locals in Dallas, were they aspiring artists? Are they known locally or even nationally? Can you at least tell us that?
I'm not going to get into the victim stuff at this time. I think that.
Why? I think because I think all 3 are victims, of course. But I think the guy who got choked out is the guy who's giving up B-roll behind the scene video of people that got people identified to the point that they were. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. The cameramans, they sit around recording the whole time, even when you think they're not. You know what I'm saying?
That more will be coming out there that will help clarify, but I'm not at liberty at this stage of the investigation to disclose that.
And then can you describe the operation to conduct all of those arrests? I imagine they were in different places. Maybe they all happened around the same time. I'm not sure.
I'm going to hand that one off to my colleague here, Jeremy Wright.
Yeah. Thank you for the question. It requires a lot of partnerships across multiple jurisdictions to be able to conduct simultaneous arrests in a manner, to not alert other folks and to do it safely. So really, it's just a coordinated effort. And fortunately, we have great relationships here locally with Dallas PD and our other partners, as well as other FBI offices have the similar relationships. Memphis is unique. They have the Memphis Safe Task Force there currently, which was kind of a help in a lot of this. So it's really just coordination and pre-planning.
Yeah.
So were all of the arrests
3 months. And they got everybody they was looking for except for one person. That's Big 30. So I think they planned that out and coordinated that extremely good. Y'all gotta forgive me. I'm having a little bit of pain, you know what I'm saying? But I'm holding it together.
No, the Memphis, we had one in Frisco, Texas yesterday morning. The rest were in Memphis. And as the U.S. Attorney said, we're actively pursuing the final arrest.
Dang. Yeah. They put that shit together. They came and got everybody they was looking for in one day except for one person. And it's not even, he probably wasn't even going out his way to avoid them. Instead of going to house A where he normally went, he probably went to a chick house or something that night and just didn't make it home. And that allowed for him to miss this sweep of the whole crew. Goodness gracious.
Did you have another question, sir?
We gonna.
I think that becomes.
We're gonna look at parts 1 that he did. which was actually this one right here. We're gonna look at this one right here for a little bit.
Nobody wins when the family feels.
He pops in the 8s, dripped out. Pops off camera. Pops in the 8s. Katie in the gun.
Now again, remember I was saying how neither side confirmed or denied anything. You know, Gucci didn't come out and say, man, nah, Pooh Shiesty, that's my youngin'. He still signed to the label. It's all family. He finna drop another CD. Shiesty didn't come out and say, nah, Gucci the OG. I mess with Gucci. The rumors is just rumors on the internet. Nobody came out and said nothing, right? Soon as this complex tennis shoe thing came on, there was not a 1017 chain in sight. There was no mention of 1017. And to be honest, when I watched this, I said, he looked like he a little bit thrown off. And that could be because he probably knew the investigation that was going on to the situation. You could just look. It looked like he did this just to get a couple dollars right quick.
Yep. Shit going on.
Me and I'm locked in with TP. We finna make a hit.
To tell what happened and he left stuff out. I'm not going to do that. There is a video of this thing. A lot of people know already what happened. That live stream with Ben the Don, that was about Pooh Shiesty.
Took everything to clean them up.
Are you serious?
The nigga retarded, bro. It has to hit the street shit. Remember, I always get the shit first.
Yeah, I gotta talk to you at the stream, bro. I'll call you in a little bit, bro. No, bro, this shit never fucking ends. That shit damn near made me on the end stream, gang.
Goofy.
Gucci Mane got robbed, bro. And I've allowed a lot of people to come in. Y'all know me and Seti really ain't been see whatever. I did not get this from him as well. Damn, Gucci. I didn't want to believe.
So it's a guy called Byron Blake. He was on AK-47 line. He was on Seti Nash line. He was calling them liars. He was making plenty of videos dissing them, talking about they don't know what's happening, what's going on. They just making up stuff. He was bringing up all these facts that he done pulled out of thin air. This is why this really didn't happen. These guys are just making up facts to clickbait you guys and da-da-da-da-da. Now what? Now what? And I only say that because I don't like when guys make content pages that are strictly about hating on other people's content. You know what I'm saying? Like the guy, every video he makes, it's about hating on somebody. But we ain't even gonna make this about him. It's just what now?
I didn't think Pooh Shiesty was dumb enough. But y'all, Pooh Shiesty is dumb enough.
In Cordova, at the scene in Cordova, our crews have seen FBI and TBI agents going in and out of that house. The Shelby County Assessor's website lists this house as being owned by Lontrell Williams. That is the name of both Pooh Shiesty and his father. The rap star is in a halfway house right.
Then this the crazy part about us as men, as fathers and as men, right? At some point in time, you're supposed to be able to tell your child, even if he a grown man, like, ho, son, we ain't gonna do this. We gotta move a little different. We gotta do this a different way. He didn't have no control in the situation. Not only did he not have no control in the situation, they even going out the way to say he was a participant, the person who masterminded the whole situation, put the whole situation together. So now your family lost you and the son who the breadwinners. And that's just crazy to me.
Now, after being released from federal.
What if I told you a Memphis rapper that once had the world in his hands, whose rapping ability was strong enough to feed not only himself, but his entire family? But instead of that talent taking him somewhere different, he ended up sentenced to 5 years in federal prison behind a robbery and a shooting that could have easily turned into a murder. All over some shoes and some Mary Jane. And what if I told you after coming home, instead of moving different, instead of staying down and rebuilding his career, he allegedly started teasing
And that's why I be saying, do they really be getting paid as much as they lead us to believe they're getting paid? If you really making as much money as you say you are, why you robbing a nigga for some exclusive Jordans and a bag of weed? You know what I'm saying? Why is King Von got trending songs, trending all over the internet, all over YouTube, but he robbing cameramen for the cameras after the interviews? Like, it just don't make sense to me.
The victim's family. Out of every picture he could have chosen on his Instagram, his default picture is him standing in front of a green McLaren, identifying himself as a slime king, a case we'll later go over in its entirety. And what if I told you that the very man who helped him reach the level that he at today, the man who helped change his life, is the same man he allegedly tried to slime out of his contract just to sign somewhere else, and is being reported to another man. The irony, right?
Yeah.
Because instead of standing down and dropping constant music, he drops the first day out record.
They motherfucker got like 10 dogs. You hear that shit? God dang, son. Living in the hood, bro.
Still on the very same label of the man he allegedly tried to slime out. And the song goes #1. But inside that song, there's a lyric that caught people's attention. Quote, your daddy a killer, but you ain't, you just like Bronny James.
Show me lame, your daddy a killer, but you ain't, you just like Bronny James.
That followed up after the lyrics. His daddy was his first CD, his co-defendant.
They weren't doing it for the same. See, my dad and my first code D jumped in the streets, he showed me lame.
Meaning his father was the first person he ever caught a charge with. And according to reports, that same father was allegedly with him during a situation involving the CEO he reportedly tried.
In the streets, he showed me lame.
That followed up after.
Listen to what I had just got finished saying about the father and son dynamic in this situation. Listen to these lyrics this man just said.
That caught people's attention. Quote, your daddy a killer, but you ain't, you just like Bronny James.
Show me lame, your daddy a killer, but you ain't, you just like Bronny James.
That followed up after the lyrics. His daddy was his first CD, his co-defendant.
They weren't doing it for the same. See, my dad and my first code D jumped in the streets, he showed me lame.
The first time he ever got in legal trouble in his life, it was with his father. Not a lot of people could say that, man. And I don't say that in like a celebratory bragging type of way. I say that to say is that's job messed up. You know what I'm saying? That just go to show you the way he was going to be moving for the rest of his life. His daddy was his first co-defendant. You know what I'm saying? And what example is there for you to set after that as a father? It's not like you could really, you know, I don't know. It's just messed up to me.
Meaning his father was the first person he ever caught a charge.
I want to be the first person to take my child fishing or the first person to take my child to do anything. I don't want to be the first person my child gets in legal trouble with, has a case with. Like that's just so insane to me.
And according to reports, that same father was allegedly with him during a situation involving the CEO he reportedly tried to slime out. And as history shows, that's when that situation happened. It was actually a police officer connected to that CEO's security detail that got involved. Now fast forward to today, despite the hype, despite the #1 song, you still haven't dropped the full project. And now, as this halfway house period is reportedly coming to an end, local news report outlets within the last 24 hours have released.
And he's not going to be dropping any projects anytime soon, because anything he drops, if he does drop something, it'll just be because 1017 trying to recoup some money off of him, make some money back. Other than that, he won't be getting any projects dropped. It won't be nothing coming CMG way. It won't be nothing coming from 1017 way. That was the end of Pooh Shiesty. That was the end of his career right there. That last song, FDO, was the end of his career right there.
Footage showing federal agents outside a home reportedly owned by him and his father. And when you see something like that, people naturally start connecting the dots. 2 + 2 do equal 4. Because when the feds show up, it's usually not random. Now, originally, family, I was actually working on another completely different story out of Alabama involving 2 young brothers who were recently killed inside their vehicle. Reports saying an AK-47 was found in the car. As I started researching that case, I realized their mother had died in a similar situation just 2 years prior. While digging deeper into the story, I even came across
what them 2 little boys did. I don't know what they did. Somebody caught their mother, gunned her down in the car with an AK-47, and then they died in the car like that 2 days later. Man, that's crazy.
Or someone allegedly claiming responsibility, turning a photo from the victim's girlfriend into a flyer and filming a music video at a graveyard, disrespecting the victim less than 24 hours after his death. But while I was gathering those details, I end up seeing a new development.
Hold up, y'all. Let me hear that one more time. Hold up.
Victim's girlfriend into a flyer and filming a music video at a graveyard, disrespecting the victim less than 24 hours after his death. But while I was gathering those details, I end up seeing a new development involving Pooh Shiesty. And once you started seeing the pieces come together, it raises a lot of questions. Because like they say in Four Brothers, you keep knocking on the devil's door, sooner or later somebody gonna answer. So before we go over the Alabama story, I want to brief.
Turned the girl picture into a flyer 24 hours after the death. I don't even think y'all demonic, man. I really just think y'all just some get-wits and some followers. If y'all would have never saw this type of stuff being flashed all over social media, that people do this type of stuff in other cities, other states, y'all wouldn't be doing this stuff, man. Showing up to somebody's graveyard and digging up the graveyard with a shovel. Like, this stuff is retarded, man.
Briefly go over this Pooh Shiesty story. But before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember, I don't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll jump right to it. Man, 4 years ago when I started this platform in 2022, we was trying to find a niche. And during that period, we was talking about rappers and their parents. People were intrigued on their stories. And one of those rappers was Pooh Shiesty. And after I was doing my research, of course, he was buzzing during that time, had a huge presence. I came across the history of his father, Lontrell Williams Sr. Pooh Shiesty is identified as Lontrell Williams Jr. And at that time, you had platforms like Hip Hop Daily, who was bigger than mine at that time, who picked it up. He did many of my videos like that and end up regurgitating the same information that I put out. Now, I'll leave the link in the bio, but I do want to point out something from that story. Now, to give you a brief recap, it's important to know this. The situation took place in 2004 and pertaining to DJ. And it was alleged that Pooh Shiesty's dad was upset that the DJ was playing Yo Gotti's music and not his. He had a record label, Lontrell Williams, Pooh Shiesty's dad, that is, back then. It was the Mob Boss. Now, in the video, I went into detail.
So, hold on, man. Did he want that man signed to CMG or not? Because the original stuff we heard in the original story was that CMG offered Pooh Shiesty $15 million to come sign with them. Now it was turned out that the father had his own label and didn't want them playing CMG music in the club. So, like, what's going on?
Tell on how the stash house was rated. Fam, forgive me on how I was breathing and talking in that video. We came a long way. Now, if you check it out, it talked about how a grand jury indicted 3 suspects for the murder and of a Memphis radio personality that was found dead inside her downtown apartment. The grand jury indicted Stanley Andrews, 24, on charges of first-degree M and first-degree M, and aggravated R for the M of Rebecca Glenn. She was 24 years old. Andrew was sentenced to life in prison. Rebecca was found strangled on April 12, 2000.
Smoke this boots. You touching people doing stuff like that. Smoke this boots. Gave him an L.
At 130 South Front Street by an apartment manager. Concerned co-workers at Flint Broadcasting drove the Glenn's home when she failed to show up for work. The grand jury also indicted Lontrell D. Williams, 27 at the time, and Marquita Thomas, who was 19. Apparently, she was the setup girl. Each one on account of accessory after the fact. And ever since that day, Pooh Shiesty's dad was a convicted felon. May Rebecca rest in peace and love her condolences to her family. The setup girl. Each one on Glenn's home when she.
So is you saying Pooh Shiesty's dad had something to do with the M1 and the aggravated graping of this lady? This is crazy.
Failed to show up for work. The grand jury also indicted Lontrell D. Williams, 27 at the time, and Marquita Thomas, who was 19. Apparently, she was the setup girl. Each one on account of accessory after the fact. And ever since that day, Pooh Shiesty's dad was a convicted felon. May Rebecca rest in peace and love her condolences to her family. Fast forward 15 years later, in 2019, just a year before Pooh Shiesty gets signed during the pandemic, Lontrell Williams Sr. apartment would get raided again. You see, back then, they stayed on Main Circle on the 700 block, Main Circle West. Police had a search warrant for the house on December 11, 2019. At around 6 p.m., they came through. Police conducted a protective sweep on the apartment and encountered a male identified as Lontrell Williams Jr., also known by his rap stage name as Pooh Shiesty. In the southwest bedroom, sitting on the bed, Lontrell Williams Jr. was sitting on a Glock 22 pistol. During the time he was detained, detectives continued to sweep for the residence to see if any more bodies was there and didn't locate anyone else. After the scene was made safe, detectives could smell a strong odor of marijuana throughout the entire apartment. While searching for the source of the smell, Detectives Garrison and Detective Murphy located $30 of currency under the couch in the living room. Detective Tate located a Glock with 50-round drum mag and around 24 rounds inside and a rifle stock for a Glock pistol in the southwest bedroom where Pooh Shiesty was at. Detectives Mills also located a large clear bag of Mary Jane in the southwest bedroom. Another detective located miscellaneous documents in the master bedroom. Detective Tate located a Glock with 2 rounds in the southwest bedroom dresser, as well as $605. Another detective located 3 Navy Federal Credit Union envelope with Pooh Shiesty's government name on the kitchen floor. Another detective located a key to a Chrysler 300 in the kitchen drawer. Another detective located a black phone on the kitchen counter. Detective Tate located a black hat with the words Chopper Gang logo on the southwest bedroom dresser. Detective Tate located a white/gold iPad in the master bedroom dresser. Another detective located a purple jersey with the name Pooh Shiesty, as well as a Louis Vuitton bag in the southwest bedroom closet. Detective Murphy located a key fob in the southwest bedroom to a tan Chevrolet Tahoe. The detectives were able to locate outside the apartment by pressing the key button. Detectives could smell a strong odor of Mary Jane from outside the vehicle. Due to narcotics being located inside the apartment, as well as the vehicle being within the scope of the document search warrant, Detectives Mambo had conducted a free air sniff around the vehicle in which Mambo gave a positive alert to the driver's side door. Apparently, that was the gang unit dog. Pooh Shiesty was later transported to 3657 Old
So basically, they kicked in the trap door. Pooh Shiesty in that joint by himself. He got the Glock 22 under his leg. There's little money here and there all around. We're going to let him finish.
Will Road for interviews. And once he got there, he was advised his rights and declined to speak to detectives. The Mary Jane was tested positive with a TGW at 1.20 pounds. The total count of currency at the property was 40,984. 2 e-trace forms were completed for both.
40 bands, a bunch of guns, couple of pounds of
handguns.
marijuana.
Detectives seized an unknown number of coins that would be counted and tagged during business hours. Pooh Shiesty was charged with possession of controlled substance, possession of a firearm, and commission of a felon, and also had his dad hemmed up as a co-defendant because there was a house in his name, well, apartment. So now you understand what he meant by that song. His daddy was his.
So basically, this was one of Pop's trap houses. He got the joint in his name, probably got it in his name for his son. And his son got a little lane right now. He making a little bit of money. He doing his thing. He jamming. They caught him with 40 bands. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I understand how Pops was his first Cody on that one.
First CD. It seemed like his daddy took the case. But just months later, April 2020, Pooh Shiesty will be signed to 1017. What seemed to be a gang build-up based on the information like Chopper Gang written on hats that was found by the police. He could now focus on music and choosing another route. And that's what happened. He dropped 762 God. Out the gate, he made a name, and he ain't looked back since when it came to rapping. A song that got over 80 million views, I ain't counting.
In the corner, jumping fences, hitting them gates, and now we lit. Who can't do a show up in the city, bitch, this my shit.
And for a year straight, Pooh Shiesty was going a huge run. Dropped Back in Blood, a track featuring Lord Durk that's now 8 times platinum.
Now, be honest, Durk did so good on that song. I thought that was Durk's song, man. I thought that was Durk featuring Pooh Shiesty. I didn't know that was Shiesty's song this whole time.
Way from becoming diamond.
You know who took this shit from you? Come get it back in blood. Bitch, come get it back in blood.
Back in Blood going 8 times platinum, like how I feel to have that accomplishment, like it's just crazy because like 8 so close to, you know what I'm saying? This platinum, like that ain't being done every day. Like it's a lot of people from where we from that, you know, that go far, but this right there is like, you know, that's crazy. That's a big deal right there, and made a lot of people proud. You know what I'm saying? Like it still give hope. You know, I want something else that can be like 8 times platinum again. And it's crazy because how this song did. Like we ain't expect it, but at the same time we knew this was the one. And I'm coming from police walking past. You know, big brother, Pooh Shiesty don't really Shiesty. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, that song
funny,
was lit
like,
though. That song
it's
was
good.
lit.
Like
I
that
give him that.
was a big point in life right there. It's a hit right there.
Song was
A
good.
memory. I got a little dirt like from that video shoot, from the Back in Blood video shooter. It's like that was my first time being in Chicago with him too. So how he move and like how he is around like his people and how they love him and you know how they do for him. I love that. Like,
well, listen. Y'all slide over there to the Family TV. Check out the end of this video, the rest of it. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Let them know what y'all think. Thank y'all for viewing with me. We're going to jump back on with this Drakeo the Ruler joint. We're going to get on that one in a minute. Where they talk about Drakeo the Ruler being killed. They say YG might be going to jail for it. The West Coast be on all type of stuff because, again, the West Coast connected to this too. This had something to do with the Roller 60 Crips. We might even check out what Poetic Flacco had to say about this. Y'all know Flacco like my fat cousin. I mess with Flacco. So, y'all make sure y'all hit the like button, comment, subscribe. I know I've been out the way for like a month. I've been dealing with some little personal stuff, but I'm back in the building. So, show me some love. I'm going to show you some love. Remember, like this. If you like it, I love it. And catch me next time.